All right, Shalom Akim, Shalom, Shalom, the Habakkuk. All right, this is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit, and Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who teach well. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, to you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. All right. So before I go any further, I want to declare fair use. All right. This is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 states that allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And with that disclaimer, all right, being declared, I want to share an audio, all right, from actually one of my favorite movies. It's going to be used for the point of this lesson. All right. So the name of this lesson is He Covets. All right. He covets. Or I guess I could say he who covets. So, you know, a lot has been going on, you know what I'm saying, in world affairs as of late concerning Esau Edom, you know what I'm saying, in his quest for conquest. You know what I'm saying? Or in his pursuit for conquest, because he's taking over all these different nations. He's threatening all these different nations and forcing the world to shift its paradigm, okay, in terms of rethinking the relationship that it has with America. You know what I'm saying? And essentially the world order is collapsing all around the world, you know what I'm saying, right before your eyes. And all of this is the result of the covetous nature of this devil, you know what I'm saying, these Edomites. So without further ado, I want to get this audio real quick from one of my favorite movies, Silence of the Lambs. All right. And let's use this for edification. Bear with me.
Just until you get your view.
How very thoughtful. Or did Jack Crawford send you for one last wheedle before you're both booted off the case?
No, I came because I wanted to.
People will say we're in love. Anthrax Island. That was an especially nice touch, Clarice. Yours?
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. Tell me about poor Catherine, though. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Your anagrams are showing, Doctor. Louis' friend. Iron sulfide, also known as fool's gold.
Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
You were telling me the truth back in Baltimore, sir. Please continue now.
Well, I've read the case files, have you? Everything you need to find him is right there in those pages.
And tell me how.
First principles, Clarice. Simplicity. Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each particular thing, ask, what is it in itself? What is its nature? What does he do, this man you seek?
He kills women.
No, that is incidental. What is the first and principal thing he does? What needs does he serve by killing?
Anger. Social acceptance and sexual frustration, sir.
No, he covets. That is his nature. And how do we begin to covet, Clarice? Do we seek out things to covet? Make an effort to answer now.
No. We just...
Now, we begin by coveting what we see every day. Don't you feel eyes moving over your body, Clarice? And don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
All right, yes. Now please tell me how.
No. It's your turn to tell me, Clarice. You don't have any more vacations to sow. Why did you leave that ranch?
Doctor, we don't have any more time for any of this now.
But we don't reckon time the same way, do we, Clarice? This is all the time you'll ever have.
Later. Now please listen to me. We've only got 5...
No. I will listen now.
All right. So as you heard from Dr. Hannibal Lecter, okay, who was played by Anthony Hopkins, okay, many times in order to solve the mystery is to revert to the first principle, being simplicity. All right. And it's as my math teacher from high school used to tell me, he used to say, don't make the problem harder than it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't make the problem harder than it is. You see what I'm saying? Use simplicity, man. So in the simplest terms, he who causes the most problems is he who covets the most. All right? He who causes the most problems is he that covets the most. And how do we begin to covet? We covet what we see every day. Okay? We covet what we see every day. Which brings us to the character in this global story, being Esau. Let me get this in the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. And verse 9. Let's start at verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. You know what I'm saying? And if one doesn't understand reincarnation and how it works, then you won't be able to tie in the true role of Esau and his descendants, the Edomites. You see what I'm saying? The spirit of Esau goes back to the spirit of Cain. All right? And you remember Cain and Abel. Both of those spirits came back in the form of Jacob and Esau. And that's how the story would play out amongst their descendants, the Edomites versus the Israelites. All right? But Cain, being a covetous man, okay, he sought what he couldn't have. He sought what he couldn't have. When the Lord blessed the sacrifice that was presented from Abel and not Cain, Cain was envious. Cain was covetous. You see? And in response, he took it by force. Okay, he slew his brother. He slew his brother Abel. Esau. All right, Esau is a covetous man who sought instant gratification, and rather than exercising patience, because he came, while Jacob was cooking and sodding pottage. Okay, Esau said, excuse me. Esau said, "Give me some of that pottage." You know what I'm saying? And that's when his name was turned to Edom. All right, that's when his name was changed to Edom, meaning red. Okay, and like I said, instead of waiting and exercising patience, you know what I'm saying, he did the unthinkable. He sold an invaluable treasure, being his own birthright. And that's not just any ordinary birthright, man. This is a birthright that helmed a long-lasting legacy from the lineage of Seth. You see? And when the blessing associated with that said birthright was rested upon Jacob, his brother, all right, he laid it in his heart to kill his brother, man, just like Cain had set to kill Abel. Okay, and that's what leads us to the world affairs today. All right, as we're entering into the final stage or the final phase of of Esau's rulership, because Esau is the end of the world. All right, and so as we enter into this these final this final phase, you know what I'm saying, as we entered into it, Esau, he's seeking to finish the job, man. All right, these Edomites are going to finish the job of what their forefather Esau had set in his mind to do to Jacob, his brother, whose name was changed to Israel. Okay, and this has been a long, drawn out plan. You know what I'm saying? He coveted the land of the Israelites, his brother Jacob, and he took it through what's known as the Balfour Declaration back in 1948. All right, he assumed the identity of his brother Jacob. You see, if he can't have this blessing, then he would formulate his own blessing through pseudo means. Because what came with that blessing that was rested upon Jacob? Immortality, world rulership, intergalactic rulership. You see? This is what Esau, their forefather, had sold for some bloody meat. You see? And so what's he trying to do? He's trying to create his own pseudo blessing by use of artificial intelligence. You see, with artificial intelligence, he can live forever. With artificial intelligence, all right, he can rule the planet and say who lives and who dies, and say who gets to do this or who gets to do that. You see what I'm saying? Through artificial intelligence, he has that means. In his mind, he will have that mean to have complete rulership. You know what I'm saying? He believes that with enough time, he can break past this firmament and go out into the stars and colonize other planets. You see what I'm saying? This is how Esau thinks. This is how these Edomites think. Why? Because they're covetous. You know what I'm saying? Let's get these scriptures, man. Let's go to Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 10. And let's get verse 9. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 9. It says, why is earth and ashes proud? There is none a more wicked thing. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul for sale. All right, for such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. You see what I'm saying? And what did he do? He casted away his own birthright. All right, he casted away his own birthright because he coveted. You see? Remember, how do we begin to covet? We covet what we see every day. So again, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. All right? Let's go to chapter 14 and verse 9. Let's go to verse 8. Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 8. It says, the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. You see what I'm saying? When you despise the world, man, when you have an evil eye towards the planet, you know what I'm saying, and towards everyone around you, what do you tend to do? You'll pollute the air, you'll pollute the water, you'll destroy the crops, you'll pollute the food. You see what I'm saying? You'll go on a rampage. Why? Because you're envious. You see what I'm saying? Verse 9, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. See what I'm saying? What did Hannibal Lecter say? He said, what does he do, this man you seek? You see what I'm saying? And Clarice Starling, she said he kills, you know what I'm saying, he kills women. He said, no, that's incidental. What purpose does he serve? What needs does he serve? What purpose does he fulfill with this? What needs does he serve by killing, by destroying, by plundering? He serves the covetous and envious spirit that's within him. You see what I'm saying? Until you understand how deep this goes, you'll never understand why these so-called white people behave the way they do. You'll never understand it. You see what I'm saying? Only the scriptures can give you that answer. You have to go back. You got to go back to the book of Genesis. You have to go back to the beginning to understand their role in this world. You see? Again, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. A niggard meaning one that is stingy. He's stingy. He doesn't share. These Edomites can't even share the world. All right, they'll tell you on the television that the world is too small to carry 8 billion people. Meanwhile, they have hundreds of thousands of acres of land. You know what I'm saying? They get to hold entire islands to themselves, while they tell you that there's not enough room on the planet. You see? Again, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. You see? Let's go to the book of Psalms. All right, Psalms chapter 10 and verse verse 3. It says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." The Lord's not for that. The Lord's not for none of that, man. There's plenty in the world. You see what I'm saying? This is why this is why everything has to be changed. You know what I'm saying? This earth is not under the correct management, man. It's being mismanaged. All right, let's stay in Psalms. Let's go to chapter 82. All right. Psalms 82 and 5. It says, let's start at verse 4. "Deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand." All right, they don't understand how to share. They don't understand how to give everyone his own portion in fairness, in righteousness. But he goes around the world telling everybody that he is righteous. You see what I'm saying? He goes around the world, all right, convincing everyone that he has the answers. It says, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course." All the foundations of the world are out of course because of this devil, man. Everything is upside down. Everything's upside down because of this man's philosophy, because of his pseudoscience, because of all these things that he has gone around the world, all right, convincing everyone that he's this philosophy of his, this wine, right? Let's get that in the book of, I think it's Habakkuk. All right. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, "Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. He cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." You see what I'm saying? And this is why the world is starting to turn on these Edomites. This is why the world is starting to push back against these so-called white people, man. Why? Because of what you've done. Because of what you've done throughout the entire world. You see what I'm saying? It's only natural for the world to push back against all this. You see what I'm saying? Because you've done too much. Right? Micah chapter 2. All right, Micah chapter 2 and verse 2, it says, "And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage." All right. That word for covet is chamad. Chamad. The Hebrew word for covet. It means to desire, to take pleasure in. Okay? It says to covet, delectable thing, a great delight, desire, to lust. All right? To lust. So this is what they want. This is what they do. They take what they want. And this is why you see these Edomites talking about the Monroe Doctrine. They're calling themselves predators. You know what I'm saying? They're calling themselves the apex predator of the West. You know what I'm saying? Because they covet. All right? What is the first principles? Simplicity. Okay? And this is everything that goes against what they say they're for. All right. They say that they're for righteousness. They say that they're for fairness, but they move in the completely opposite way. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High Power saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant into thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee? You see what I'm saying? They don't listen to what the Lord said in his own laws. They will take their hands and they will put their hands on this book, and they will swear on this book. You see what I'm saying? On these laws. They will swear on these instructions. And yet they don't keep them. Let's go to the book of Exodus. This is one of the laws, all right, that the Israelites were told to follow. And since you guys done put your hand on this book, that means that you're supposed to be held to the same standard. You see what I'm saying? Because you took his covenant into your own mouths. This is Exodus chapter 20. Let's go to verse 17. It says, thou shalt not covet, all right, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thy neighbor's wife. Salaki, let me read that again. Salaki. All right, Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And they have failed in this endeavor. All right, they can't even perform the basics because all they do is covet. Right? Salaki. Salaki. All right, so all they do is covet. You know what I'm saying? And they take fields. Look at what they've done. You know what I'm saying, to the tribes, man. You know what I'm saying? They took the houses, they took the land, they took our women, they took our wives. You know what I'm saying? They took those that was amongst us. You know what I'm saying? And put them into slavery. Okay. So beginning first and foremost with the northern tribes, the so-called Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, that's what began the slave trade. All right, for those who didn't know. Okay, it began with the northern tribes where they was brought to serve out Spain, and then they went over to West Africa. You see what I'm saying? And this is what these devils have done, man. Okay, and all the world is saying enough. Enough, you've done too much, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these jokers are sitting here talking about, this is our hemisphere. Trump really came out here and said and told the world that this is our hemisphere. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49. All right. Psalms 49, verse 11, it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to the elder Aisha Yar, and he was going into a video, an interview that was happening between Tucker Carlson and Matt Walsh. You know what I'm saying? And these devils are proud as fuck, and they truly believe that they're gonna get away with all this stuff that they've been doing, taking the lands and saying, well, technically you're not a Native American because because you didn't establish the country called America. You know what I'm saying? This is how a covetous man speaks. This is how a covetous man speaks, man. And And this is why the Lord's about to come visit their ass. All right? Because we've been found in their hands. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Let me get that. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 20. All right. And let's hit, or it's like it, 2nd Ezra chapter 21. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 21 and verse 16, it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And the Israelites are still found in your hands. As a matter of fact, you're going to these other so-called Latin tribes, and you're grabbing up. All right, you're grabbing up the Israelites of the northern tribes, man. The Northern Kingdom Israelites. You see what I'm saying? So we're all being found under your hands. So check this out. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 31, it says, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Okay? You done stirred up Russia, you done stirred up China, you done stirred up Iran, you stirred up North Korea, you getting all kinds. You're breaking away from your own allies. Your own allies don't even trust you anymore. Now they're hating you. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? The Israelites, your brother Jacob, is still found in your hand. You see what I'm saying? Verse 33. It says, thus saith the Lord power of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Okay? You devils have refused to release us. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, you've refused to release us. Verse 34, it says, their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. You see what I'm saying? The Lord's going to plead our cause. That's why he's drawing all of you devils down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, so he can judge you. You see what I'm saying? As it's written in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Right? He's going to judge for the sake of his people. You see what I'm saying? And you will pay the price. You know what I'm saying? But this is the portion of a covetous man. You know what I'm saying? Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 15. It says, the horse leech hath 2 daughters, crying, give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yeah, 4 things say not, it is enough. And that's you devils, man. You can never have enough. You know what I'm saying? And look at how prideful these devils are, man. Let me get this article real quick. Bear with me. All right. This is from the independent.co.uk. It says Trump says, I don't need international law. Only one thing limits my power. You hear that? You hear this is what a prideful and a covetous man sounds like. It says Donald Trump has insisted he doesn't need to abide by international law, and the only constraint keeping his power in check is his own morality. You see? Let me read this again. Let's go to the book of Psalms. All right. Back to Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee? You see what I'm saying? This is the hypocrite, man. All right? This is the hypocrite. The world is now seeing this devil for who he is. In a wide-ranging defense of a week of global provocation, the U.S. president laid out the motivation behind his actions. In the last 6 days alone, he has launched strikes on Venezuela and captured its president, Nicolas Maduro, reportedly voiced his intention to take over Greenland, and claimed that Colombia could be next on his list. I don't need international law, quote unquote, Trump had told the New York Times in an interview in the Oval Office. I'm not looking to hurt people. Since returning to the White House in January, Trump has successfully tested many of the constitutional and legal limits of his authority, firing the heads of independent agencies, attempting to rewrite the 14th Amendment, and punishing federal judges who insist on giving immigrants due process. But the president's more recent decision to conduct aggressive military operations without congressional consent and threaten to take over allies' territory has worried international leaders. Okay? When asked if there were limits to his power, Trump replied, yeah, there is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. You see what I'm saying? Ain't this a proud devil? Right? Scriptures say that his look is more stout than his neighbors. Okay? Check this out. All right, also from the Independent, it says full list as Trump announces a shock move that will see the United States leave 66. It's an interesting number. Look at that number, man. It will leave 66 key international organizations. Huh? I don't need to hear that. It says President Trump announced on Wednesday that the U.S. would withdraw from dozens of international and United Nations entities, claiming they operate contrary to U.S. national interests. All right, America is isolating itself. The Lord is having this place be isolated more and more, as the decision targets 35 non-UN groups and 31 UN entities, including a crucial climate treaty and a UN body promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. Among these is the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, widely considered the bedrock climate treaty and parent agreement to the 2015 Paris Climate Deal. This move follows the United States' absence from the annual UN International Climate Summit last year, marking the first time in 3 decades. All right, so let's look at the list of these treaties that he's leaving. It says 24/7 Carbon-Free Energy Compact, Colombo Plan Council, Commission for Environmental Cooperation, Education Cannot Wait, European Center of Excellence for Countering Hybrid Threats. It says Forum of European National Highway Research Laboratories, Freedom Online Coalition, Global Community Engagement and Resilience Fund, Global Counterterrorism Forum, Global Forum on Cyber Expertise, Global Forum on Migration and Development, Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research, Intergovernmental Forum for Mining, Minerals, Metals, and Sustainable Development, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, International Center for the... All right, so it goes on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? This This is some crazy shit. This is some crazy shit. You know, goddamn, man. This devil is on a rampage, boy. Peace building commission, peace building fund, UN democracy fund, UN energy, UN human settlements program, UN water. This is nuts, man. All right, that's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so you can see, all right, that this man is proud. He's covetous. You know what I'm saying? And that is his nature. Right? That is his nature. So let me end it off here with this final clip. Bear with me. All right, so check this out. I'm gonna get one more precept. All right, one more precept. This is Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 23. It says, "A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit." All right. This is the covetous man. This is Esau Edom. All right. Again, fair use. Fair use.
What I know of man was written long ago, set down by the greatest ape of all, our lawgiver. Cornelius, come here. Reach into my pocket. Read to him the 29th scroll, 6th verse.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
All right. For he is the harbinger of death. And as we read earlier, who is as death and cannot be satisfied. So I'm going to cut that there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zachariah Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wacha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.